Let nature never be forgot. Consult the genius of the place in all. The prairie has answers to questions that we've not yet learned to ask. I'm Wes Jackson. I've been president of the Land Institute after 40 years, and so I'm involved with the Ecosphere Studies program. We need wilderness as a standard against which to judge our agricultural practices. Essentially, all of our grain crops are grown in annual monocultures. Our wheat, our corn, our sunflowers, our soybeans, whereas the prairie is a polyculture, and the prairie is a natural ecosystem, like a rainforest or an alpine meadow. And I thought, here at this prairie, there's no fossil fuel dependency, no chemical contamination. What's the difference? Well, that prairie features perennials in polycultures, and we feature annuals in monocultures for our grains. What we know is that the perennial polycultures of nature do not waste away anything like the way we waste away through agriculture. So why not mimic that?
Well, my name's Tim Cruz, and I'm the Director of Research and an ecologist. We are working on developing an ecosystem that is perennial and diverse. Those are the ecosystems that built the soils that agriculture depends on. Kaanza is a wild perennial that we're bringing out of the wild and turning into a crop. The reason we like it so much is through evolutionary time, it developed a very extravagant rooting system. It goes very deep. Those roots feed the soil food web. Those roots take up deep water and nitrogen. When you see a field that has no plants on it and the soil is broken wide open and exposed to the elements, we're accustomed to associating that incredible ecological disturbance with food. But if you put on the ecological lenses, that is an ecological disaster. And it's necessary to till the soil when you grow annual crops. The outcomes of that type of disturbance are soil erosion, loss of soil organic matter, loss of nutrients, and explosion of diseases and insects when you're growing only one species. When you plant perennial vegetation, like Kaanza, you reverse that. It's regenerating that ecosystem function.
I'm Brandon Kaufman. This is my family farm. My children are actually the 5th generation, born and raised here. And I'm here today taking Kaanza onto the commercial scale. I think there's a lot to be learned with organic agriculture right now, eliminating the synthetics, the drugs if you will, and regenerating our soil. In the last few years, I've been really analyzing why we're doing what we're doing, not just the typical, well, that's the way Dad did it. As I started changing things and buying seed instead of herbicide and fungicide and insecticide, my profitability was increasing. And so the diversity played a role and was more sustainable than what we're doing now. And so my mindset sort of changed to think holistically and sustainably. So I started diving into polycultures, doing companion cropping with Kaanza now. You step back and look at Mother Nature and the tens of thousands of years of R&D that she's put out here. We need to mimic her.
My name's Chris Nettinger. I'm the founder and brewmaster here at Hopworks Urban Brewery. Kaanza is really an amazing perennial wheatgrass. It uses half the water of a typical wheat or barley crop, and Kaanza is a perennial grain that lives in harmony with nature. We're using Kaanza to make beer in partnership with Patagonia. The two beers we're making currently are pale ale and a Belgian-style wit beer. The flavor profile of Kaanza is really unique. It has a nuttiness like wild rice and the spiciness of rye. And I really appreciate what it brings to beer, especially this Belgian-style wit, which is known for its spiciness. There's nothing more important to me than the health of the planet, and Kaanza has the potential to change the world of food and beverage. I have 2 kids. I cannot wait to hand the brewery off to them using beer as a force for good. We're going to create a hope spot with a pint full of delicious beer.